Welcome back to Superior Sunrise. Joining me now, SLA Rep Brandon Wren. Brandon, thanks for being on this morning. The first thing that I want to jump into talking about is because you have got a lot of customers that you're repping cattle for. So I want to highlight them and the work that they're doing. Who are some of the consignors that you're going to work for here this week?
First of all, we got a 30-year customer, Mr. The Carlo Ranch, Judge Carlo and his two boys, Blake and Brad. We've got the 20-year customer, Pace King, the King Cattle Company. He's got two big drafts of cattle on. We've got the Burton brothers that got some feeders on for tomorrow. They've been with us for over 15 years. The Ag Products cattle, we sell them, just about a lot of times every sale, and they're usually smaller, but we've got some bigger calves there for them. The Ag Products been 15 years. We've got some newer customers that started selling with him last year, the Rockin' M. And any of you cow guys out there, there's some replacements in there. Tiger Stripe Mamas and Angus Bulls. They're pretty nice little old black baldy cattle. Got some new customers on, Cole James. Let's see, there was a couple of more. I missed my guy's name. Had Dickie Hendry, and then we got Skipper Davis. There's some of those guys. We've been selling around for a few years now, and pretty much all good quality cattle. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your path to becoming a rep, because I know you've seen both sides of this business. How did you decide that you wanted to start repping cattle and working for customers and working with this company?
Well, I've always had a good relationship with Dale. Him and his dad Norman were my reps 25 years ago for my dad and myself. And, it's been a few years ago, Mr. Norm died, and Dale been he's, man, I'm needing some help, been kind of working on me, and finally, I said, yeah, I'll do it. And I've enjoyed it ever since then, working for the company, and such great people to work for with you, Callie, and and all the girls in the office for sure. Yes, ma'am. And Danny and those guys. It's a good company. I've always enjoyed it. I was a customer first and started repping, and that's what I tell any of the new guys that I put on. It's a good stout company that'll stand behind you.
So being a customer first and seeing that side, what did you take that you thought was important in being a rep and giving to your customers? Your
reputation. Yeah, you do what you say. And the buyers come back for the same cattle that they got last year. That's pretty for the most part what I've seen. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
What has working with Dale been like? What are some of the tips and tricks he's given you from being an old cat in the business?
Well, a lot of it's just stories. I can ride around with him. There's lots of stories with Dale. I don't know if anybody's ever heard his stories, but there's a few of them. But Dale's a good, honest guy. He wants to ship the cattle right. He wants both parties to be happy. And I think the buyers have really become to trust him. If you just call it like it is. Here's what these cattle are, and just rep them as they are. Yeah.
So, being from both sides, why do you think this method of selling cattle and selling them through Superior works so well?
Well, you've got so much exposure to buyers. I feed cattle too, but for the most part, when you look at your break-evens, these guys are paying $100 above your break-even or more, so it's just an easier route, less risk. It's a good market. It's always a good, solid market, even in the good times and the bad times. It's pretty solid.
Well, since you've been in the business for as long as you have, there's lots of highs and lows. What keeps you motivated? What wants to keep you being in this business and keep getting up and doing this every day?
Well, I love the business. You get to be outside. I'm around a lot of people that are professionals, and they're stuck in the office, and we get to make a living outside, kind of making our own time. Sometimes the cattle make the schedule for us, but that's what it is. We get to make a living outside, enjoying that. And I get to see a lot of country. We started repping cattle with Roger James, and he's another mentor as well. And we get to go up there in the north, Nebraska and northern Oklahoma, and I get to see a lot of new country coming up here to these kind of sales like this. It's a lot of fun. Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much for being on here. Good luck today selling the cattle next couple days. Don't go anywhere. We've got more Superior Sunrise up next.